I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the major characters that a lot of Star Wars fans are looking forward to seeing in Episode 9 is, of course, Luke Skywalker being portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in this story by JJ. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing I will say that I'm very excited to see in Episode 9 is exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize the character of Luke Skywalker and exactly how he's going to use him in each and every act of this film. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in Episode 9. Specifically, it's described that one of the sequences Mark Hamill shot took place over in Cardington during the month of January, where it said he was acting next to the Lars homestead. It's described that Daisy Ridley was also on set next to Mark Hamill during the shoot. The set floor was said to be filled with sand, and some practical effects were used in the background with some green screens. This implies that there will be a scene of Luke and or both Luke and Rey on Tatooine at some point. However, it's unclear if Daisy was used in the scene. She was, however, on set next to Mark while Mark was acting for the sequence next to the Lars homestead. Luke's X-Wing, alright, like Luke's X-Wing, is of course one of the more classic set pieces recreated in Episode 9, as well as the Lars homestead is another set piece recreated from the originals for this movie by JJ. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I think that this is going to bring things full circle in a very true and I guess you could say beautiful way for the character of Luke and for the entire Skywalker saga. So it really all started with Tatooine. If you look at the Skywalker saga, it really all started with Tatooine. It really did. That's where Qui-Gon found, Anakin Skywalker. That's where he decided to bring Anakin along with him. Everything started there, Shmi, everything. So to really go back to Tatooine and bring things full circle in Episode 9, this is the best way to go about doing things. So the Lars homestead, we actually heard about this not too long ago. You guys may recall that one of the set pieces that are actually recreated from the originals is the Lars homestead that is going to be used at a certain point in time in this movie with Daisy Ridley. However, what I find very surprising is that one of the scenes that were filmed back in January of this year, alright, was Mark Hamill over in Cardington acting next to the Lars homestead with Daisy Ridley by his side. Now, as of right now, it's kind of unclear if Daisy Ridley is actually involved in the scene on camera, or if she was just watching Mark Hamill, perform the scene by himself. Now, when we look at Mark Hamill, we do know that this movie is going to embrace the concept of flashbacks in order to tell more stories about the character of Luke since he's already dead. It seems as though that this is J.J. Abrams' only choice at this point in order to really do something with the character of Luke without bringing him back to life at the same exact time. If I were J.J., honestly guys, I would have went into Legends material and found a specific force power that would allow one to come back to life, either temporarily or permanently. Now, the Lars homestead, alright, Tatooine as a whole, coming back into play here for Episode 9, I think is a beautiful thing. It also matches the fact that over in Wadi Rum, alright, specifically Jordan, that whole entire filming area, that filming location that they filmed over there for, I think it was a total of 3 months, that whole entire spot was actually being used for two different desert scenes in Episode 9, or two different desert worlds, if you will, in this movie. So it's very likely that we're going back to Jakku and Tatooine at the same exact time in one movie itself. And I think that's going to be brilliant in either case because we do know that there is something more to tell about Jakku. There are some secrets over there. But when you look at Tatooine, it's probably the best way to go about doing things to end the Skywalker saga. And if I really had to be honest, I wouldn't be too surprised if this sequence is going to be used for one or maybe one of the final frames of the movie. It could very well be one of the final shots of Episode 9 for all we know. If you look at the Battle of Endor and at the very end of Return of the Jedi, we have the Force ghosts of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and of course Yoda on the Forest Moon of Endor watching the celebration, doing that whole entire thing. It's very possible that this sequence that Mark Hamill filmed next to the Lars homestead has something to do with the ending, like the actual ending of the movie. Like, I'm talking about the last shot of the film. It's very possible that he could very well be appearing in the form of a Force ghost back on his home planet, and literally back at his own home. And that, to me, I think would be rather poetic and a nice callback to Star Wars A New Hope, and a great way to honor the character of Luke Skywalker and where the Skywalker family really began, you know, in the actual movies. And that's one thing that I think a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing in this film. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.